You're watching Newsday TV. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ken Bufa. NASA is stepping up security ahead of Donald Trump's visit to Long Island Friday.
The Garden City, Mineola, Uniondale area will have street closures. We will not detail those street closures for security reasons because that would telegraph the direction that the president is coming in.
The president is expected to be at an event in Garden City to talk about crime and immigration. Political analysts say Trump will likely look to rally support for Bruce Blakeman in his run for governor. Now, political experts are weighing in on how Blakeman's ties with Trump may affect his campaign. Sherry Einhorn has a story you'll see only in Newsday.
It's no secret that in order to win an election, a candidate has to both energize their base while at the same time enticing the other side. You know, voters that either don't know them, don't like them, or just aren't sure. And it can be a very delicate dance.
These utility bills are sky high.
That means the messaging from Republican Nassau County exec Bruce Blakeman running against Democratic Governor Kathy Hochul is shifting depending on which group of voters he's targeting.
If you look at mailers that are going to Long Island, he talks about the issue of transgender folks participating in sports. He talks about crime and some other issues. If he sends mailers to New York City or Westchester County, then he is promoting that he is a pro-choice Republican.
Political experts say Blakeman, who has long touted his close ties to Donald Trump, has less than 100 days to convince Democrats and independents that there's a little space between him and the president.
Trump helps him with the base and hurts him with the pirouette to the middle. It's a really tricky dance of firming up the most conservative voters in the state at the same time that he makes a pivot, a pirouette to the moderate middle voters. It's something that he was able to do when he last ran for county executive.
He's going to pick, mom apple pie type of issues that is going to speak to a broad base of voters.
Things like affordability and safer neighborhoods, property taxes, and utility bills. But political strategists say it's meant to be a shift, not a makeover.
He's not going to remake himself. He's not going to all of a sudden not be a Donald Trump MAGA candidate. What you will see him do, I believe, is now address the more moderate issues that the moderate voters care about.
For Newsday TV, I'm Sherry Einhorn.
Luigi Mangione is expected to plead guilty in the killing of the United Healthcare CEO. Mangione is accused of shooting Brian Thompson in Manhattan back in 2024. Up until now, the 28-year-old has pleaded not guilty. He is due back in court on Friday. And only in Newsday, a former high school counselor is suing the Valley Stream School District. Samia Tariq Farouk claims she was fired for objecting to a school directive since she believed it was singling out ENL students. Newsday education reporter Lorena Mangione explains.
The order that came down was to prepare these forms, these blanket forms, for exemptions for Regents exams. The issue she took with is that the students weren't going to be assessed individually. They were being lumped into one group, and these forms would automatically go out to them for quote-unquote fear of deportation, regardless of their immigration status, and without really assessing each one of them.
The district superintendent has disputed the claims in this lawsuit. You can read her full report over at Newsday.com. And Long Island home prices stayed or near record highs in July. According to One Key MLS, the median sale price in Nassau was $800,000. That's nearly 3% higher than July of last year. In Suffolk, the median sale price matched the all-time high of $750,000, which is more than 7% higher than last year. And you may want to check your dog food for a recall. Alma's Pride Dog Food has recalled one of its products because of a salmonella risk. The recall covers more than 600 bags of the company's frozen raw dog food with the canine chicken recipe. The company says customers should throw the product out and contact them for a refund. And Nordstrom Rack in Bayshore has closed its doors for now. The store says it has closed temporarily, quote, due to unforeseen circumstances. Customer pickup orders have been sent to the Holbrook location. No word yet on when it will reopen, though. All right, let's take a look at tomorrow's weather. You can see here it's going to be a gorgeous day with clouds overhead, temps in the low 80s. Of course, we'll have that 7-day forecast for you later in the broadcast. Ticks on Long Island have always posed a threat. The latest state health department data shows more than 21,000 Lyme disease cases were reported in New York in 2024. Taking a closer look at Long Island, though, the highest number of cases statewide were found in Suffolk County with more than 3,000. Nassau reported a little more than 500 cases. So let's talk about what you can do to protect yourself. Joining me now is Cornell University entomologist Jody Gangloff-Kaufman and pediatric infectious diseases specialist at Stony Brook Children's Hospital, Dr. Andrew Handel. Jody, we're going to talk with you first. There are actually multiple types of ticks on Long Island. So what kind should people be concerned about, and how can they tell which is which?
Well, we have three main ticks that will bite humans and can transmit disease. One of them, the most important, is the black-legged tick, and that's responsible for all the Lyme cases that we see in Nassau and Suffolk. A more common tick these days is the Lone Star tick, which can, if you haven't heard about it, there is a red meat allergy associated with the bites of the Lone Star tick. And we have our good old American dog tick, which is kind of the one we grew up with before all of this started.
And Dr. Handel, outside of Lyme disease, what dangers do ticks present to humans?
Ticks can transmit a wide range of infections. Lyme disease is by far the most common, but also we think about things like babesiosis, which is sometimes called the malaria of the Northeast, and anaplasmosis, or Ehrlichia, or Rocky Mountain spotted fever. There are many infections, unfortunately, that are transmitted by the ticks on Long Island. And then, as we just heard, alpha-gal syndrome, or the red meat allergy, is unfortunately a major problem here in Suffolk County, and so that's something to be aware of as well.
So, Jody, what types of environments do ticks thrive in? Where will we spot them?
There are definitely regions of Long Island that have more of one versus the other. So where we find Lone Star ticks is more in dry, sandy kind of areas. So the South Shore of Long Island, the East End a lot. And you'll find black-legged ticks, our Lyme disease carrying tick, in the wooded areas, and they need a lot of moisture, so you're going to find them in woods that are moist, that have a lot of leaf litter, that have streams or near ponds. But most importantly, you really need deer, and we know that deer have made a huge comeback on Long Island.
And Dr. Handel, there is now an at-home test for Lyme disease that actually tests the bug, so how effective is it?
Well, that's one of the major questions right now is we don't know. There's a test that's being released later this month that can test the tick itself for Lyme disease. And so it doesn't test the individual, but again, the ticks. But the company that's producing it has not released any information about how accurate it is, which leaves a lot of open questions about how it can be used. And of course, it's important to keep in mind, even if the tick itself that bit someone is positive for the bacteria that causes Lyme disease, it does not necessarily mean that the individual will go on to having Lyme disease.
Jody, I have a question for you. Growing up, it was always like check your legs, make sure you wear high socks. Where on a person do ticks usually like to hang out if I'm scanning my kids once they're outside and they're coming back inside?
Well, they tend to move upwards. So yeah, they start at your legs or under your, below the knee. But ticks will move as far up as they can to find a suitable place to bite. And that's often around the head, around the hairline, around the ears, certainly the armpits. And if they can get under your shorts or your pants, they'll get into anything. So you have to check your entire body. The crevices are the best places to check because ticks like to be out of sight or out of the way. But I've had ticks embed in my thigh. The front of my thigh. So.
Okay. And Doc, what happens if there's some illnesses or some symptoms that my kid is facing that I should think, hey, this could be tick related? What should I look out for?
Of course. So if you know that your child or that you were bitten by a tick and then within the next couple of weeks develop any new symptoms like fever, headaches, muscle aches, rashes, then of course you want to be seen by a medical provider. But of course, many of the infections we see are the result of tick bites that were never witnessed, that we never noticed that the tick was there. So if it's tick season, it's something that we should always be thinking about. Of course, there are many other causes of those symptoms. But again, here on Long Island, where ticks are so prevalent and tick bites happen so often, any unexplained new symptoms you want to, during tick season, you really want to think about, could this be related to a tick bite?
All right, well, thank you both for joining us. And of course, you can read the latest news about ticks on Long Island and the impact they can have on your health or your families over at Newsday.com. All right, here's what's up on Long Island. It's Montauk Point Lighthouse weekend. Head to the National Historic Landmark Saturday and Sunday to see a pirate show, weaving demonstrations, and play with old-fashioned toys.
Then he tells us, we summer in Capri. Where do you summer? Our backyard. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Sebastian Maniscalco brings the laughs to Long Island. The comedian returns to Jones Beach Friday and Saturday night at 8 p.m. Rock out to the Stray Cats. The Rockabilly band led by Massapequa's own Brian Setzer heads to Flagstar at Westbury Music Fair Friday night at 8. All right, a pizza and chicken parm hero all rolled into one. You get to see it in this week's Trendy Bites. This is a chicken parm here at Crave It in Huntington. But we're not here for this. We're here for this. This is the pizzerito. So let's go inside and see how it's made. And yes, that chicken parm sandwich is in there.
The idea pretty much came around. We like to have fun with what we do every single day. That's our motto. We had a chicken parm laying around because someone was hungry. I was like, you know what? Let's go crazy. We came up with a pizza. I was like, let's wrap it up. We wrapped it up. Someone yelled pizzerito, and here we are, pizzerito. We're frying the chicken cutlets right now. Then we're going to cut them out. Throw some marinara sauce. Nice and sloppy, nice and messy. Fresh mozzarella, extra virgin olive oil. Get it on a nice 9-inch Italian hero, and then we're gonna take it to the front where the pizza's gonna be made. So this is a traditional plain pie, 72-hour fermented. Traditional pizzas are about 18 inches. Like I said, we go above and beyond. This is gonna be 20 inches. He's gonna make it with a homemade marinara sauce, grande cheese. Everything is about social media nowadays. No matter how good your food is, if you're not thriving on social media, how else are people gonna find out?
You got your 20-inch pizza, you got your 10-inch hero that's holding that chicken parmesan sandwich.
Look at this, look at this, look at this. Boom.
Oh my gosh.
Look at the detail.
This thing looks, it's like the best calzone you can ever order, essentially. As you can see, it's really hard to handle because I haven't cut it up too much, but I'm gonna try to take a bite of this to let you know how it tastes. And it tastes exactly how you're thinking it. You can taste the pizza, you can taste that really nice chicken cutlet, and the marinara sauce is really good. So this is a two-hander, a four-personer, and really something delicious that you would want to have if you have a lot of people to share it with. It was massive. All right, let's take a look at your 7-day forecast to see how the weekend is shaping up. Yes, tomorrow is finally Friday, and it looks like we will be dry. Temps in the mid-80s. Saturday, it looks like we're dry too. Sunday and Monday, we do have to deal with some rains, and on Thursday, but check out the temps. It is going to be in the mid to lower 80s. It's not going to be too cool either.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Sun Nation Energy, helping Long Islanders save on their energy bills for over 20 years.
Now, for more on the stories you've seen here today, head over to Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. I'm Ken Buffa, Newsday, covering Long Island like no one else can.
one covers the East End like Doug Geed on Newsday TV.
A lot of Long Islanders say they prefer fall over summer, but they still want to enjoy the outdoors.
Explore the hidden and not so hidden gems of the North and South Fork.
This sprawling property on the North Fork has certainly changed over the centuries, but it's been farmed by the same family all those years.
On Out East with Doug Geed at newsday.com/outeast.